The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
I can see my life in you. Now I can live. I can see my life with you. Now I can live forevermore.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what demographic you are watching the show from at what time. You know what? I come to you with glorious joy, but also with a heavy heart. We lost one of our superheroes, and it takes us a long time to recognize somebody who has set a pace, that has mastered their trade and their skill, and yet still has time to pass it on to help other people in need. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the loss of Kobe Bryant, who will be missed. We lost him yesterday, and that was a day that's supposed to be glorious joy, trying to find out from the Grammy Awards who are the best of the best. Kobe was one of the best of the best. They were celebrating in his house that he helped build. And that's a loss we'll never get over. Some of us here on the panel knew him. Others knew him very well. But he will be missed worldwide. And his daughter, and let me go back for a second if I can and talk to the fellas right now. Guys, come on now. Let me give you a little wake-up call right now. The pain and turmoil in that brother's heart as he found out that an emergency was going down and you have your daughter there calling out, Daddy, Daddy, for you to help them and knowing that you cannot help her and you can't even help yourself. Guys, let me tell you something. When you open that door in the morning and lock it behind you, you're not affirmed that you'll be there to open it to come in at night. This is a dangerous world. Spiritual wickedness in high places. So we need the help to get us through the day. And whatever you call it, whether you call it a God or whatever you call it in your world, make sure you stay true to yourself and be an example. And always hug your daughters and your wives, your girlfriends, and let them know how much you really appreciate them. Because you know what? After they're gone, man, there's no time to say, I wish I had half. And so that's why I said, guys, I'm telling you, put the work in and you'll get the work back out. Because there's a lot of women that are growing up with baggage because we as men are not garnering, we're not protecting, we're not supporting our young girls. It's all about people wanting to be a player, partner. It ain't no more players out here. It's real. Nobody's playing. From the top, White House to the outhouse, nobody's playing. So stop playing. Choose ye this day who you will serve. And we're here to serve you because God is first and everybody else underneath that. And so that's what we're doing today when we bring to you the interview we're going to bring. And like you know from us, we don't do interviews. We just chop it up. And we got a special presentation for you today. But I've also got some special ladies here that I've worked with before that are just the joys of my heart. Guys, I'm surrounded by some beautiful, beautiful women. Eat your heart out. They're intelligent, they're God-fearing, they're beautiful, and they're going to give you some tidbits of wisdom. So let's start out by introducing this young lady that's to my far left, who's been out in the entertainment journalist field not too long ago. She got an award from a very prestigious organization in D.C., major for her journalistic skills, and she's joined us today. She does street production. She does her own footage. She edits her own footage. She's a mother, a wife. She does it all. And above all, she's a woman of God. Here to join us today, we have, and we'd like to take this time to welcome Miss Germany. Germany, how are you?
Hey, hey. lifting her up.
There you go. Thanks for coming by. And I know you went down and covered Kobe last night. I know you talk about a little bit about that later on.
Yeah,
You know
well, you know what? Why wait? Because
Yeah.
you opened that door.
I got you.
And, I mean, he meant a lot to this city.
Yeah, he
Let's
did.
just keep it real.
Yeah.
He was the son of Los Angeles.
Ooh.
And I don't think it's another celebrity that is more worldwide impactful
Right.
than Kobe Bryant.
None.
I saw all different races
Right.
last night.
Right.
It was powerful
part.
just to be down there. Everybody said, I just want to come here to be in a place where everybody can celebrate his legacy.
Yes.
And I was taken back because I'm like, where else would you go? Because this is the house
Yes,
that
indeed.
he built.
Well,
And Ryan Seacrest, he kept pointing that out at the Grammys red carpet.
right.
And throughout the show, excuse me, Mike. Mike said, I haven't done anything. You're attacking me.
Right.
But in all honesty and all jokes aside, he was a legend.
Yes, he was.
Great father,
Right.
husband, friend. Heard so many of the social media posts coming through saying, my brother.
Yes.
Much respect.
Yes, it is.
Condolences to Lakers Nation.
Yes, yes.
To everybody that knew him well the most, and especially to Vanessa and his parents and those 3 girls.
Yes.
My heart goes out to them.
Man, we appreciate your sentiments. Yeah. Also, over here, coming in, weighing in at, this is my ride or die here. We've been together on quite a few journeys. And she's here to join us today.
Yeah.
She's an international singer, just got back from Japan on a tour doing a song, and getting ready to go back with her own CD to do another tour. I think she loves overseas most. She loves over here now, we'll see. But she's got a new one out, and she sang with everybody. Her last tour duty was with Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Carrying that sound and going beyond. So she's been with everybody. Eric Benet, I mean, I can name them, and she's done it, and she's got a reputation for being that one hitter. She goes in there one take and it's done. And I asked her about that one time, and she said, well, you know how many jobs I can do in a night by doing it one time and doing it right? I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that, but that's a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome a lady that everybody knows by one name, Makita. Hey, Makita, how you doing?
Hey, D-Nice.
Thanks for coming
Hi.
in. Hey.
So happy to be back here with the family. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Man, you look happy.
Thank you. I am.
And so humble.
Oh.
Yeah. You went through a lot last year, and
Yes.
so we watched the journey, we watched the growth, and it's a good thing.
Amen.
And I'm glad to see you back, man.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm
bigger
glad.
and better. Bigger and
I'm
better.
glad.
Bigger and better.
Yes.
Yes.
Can we
so
celebrate that?
Yes,
Before
we
we
can.
move on?
We're going to celebrate all great things. Okay, good.
Amen.
And tonight we have a special guest.
Yes.
Keita, you want to tell us about him?
Well, I'm honored to say she has discovered some of soul, R&B, the smooth groove stuff. She has discovered so many wonderful artists, and I'm so happy to be in her presence tonight. Fantasia, Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, Shantae Moore. This is all off the dome piece. She's good. Can we please give it up for the incomparable, phenomenal Sheryl Cobb?
Woo!
Yes.
Thank you.
I
I'm
love
so
it.
happy you're here.
Thank you.
I have been looking forward to this night. When Daryl called me about it, I was like, oh my God. I'm that person that knows people from behind the scenes. Right. I'll be somewhere and I'll just see you at Urban Network. You know what I mean? Yeah. See you at different award ceremonies or different things like that. I'm just in the cut, and I have admired you from afar, my dear sister.
Aww, just gonna give you a lots of love.
And I love the fact that you have stayed and you have stood in your queendom. And what I mean by that, you didn't let nobody take you off your throne. I have watched you say yay and nay when it did not coincide with how you roll. And you stood no matter what. And then you wrote a book about it. I dirty little secrets in this industry. And I began to read it. I was like, yep, she's telling the truth right there because I experienced that right there.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you're giving us a voice because a lot of times, a lot of artists are afraid to to speak because they're afraid they won't get another job. They're afraid that people
Blacklisted.
will, they're afraid to be blacklisted. I'm on the other side of that. I always say I'm two types of crazy. I'm a Jersey girl / California girl. That's two types of crazy. I ain't scared of these cats.
Good. No, you have that energy.
Yeah, but I've been there, you know, and but I thank you for giving us a voice and making it plain and telling the truth.
It's important.
Because that's what sets us free. Am I right about it,
That's
sis?
right. That's
we
right.
got to tell the truth. I mean,
That's
there's
right.
some things that artists go through. They don't know what they're signing. I mean, she put it out there. She let us know. You got to be a businesswoman.
That's right.
You can't just be an artist. So you educated me. And I've been in this game a long time, but you were still educating me. And I say thank you on behalf of every artist, singer, writer out there.
Wow. Well, you were welcome. 10 Dirty, you know what's interesting about 10 Dirty Little Secrets? It's not a tell-all book. I made the title Dirty because it gets your attention.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But they are dirty secrets because that small print says that nobody wants to tell you about the entertainment industry.
Exactly.
And that's the part that's so important about this book. It's it's an easy read.
Right.
It's 120 pages, but they're impactful. And the dirt that's in there is about me. It's about my experiences from my point of view, and I just want to share them because I want to help you not go to the school of hard knocks that I did. And if I could prevent anybody from taking some of the pitfalls that I've taken, I love that.
Yeah.
And this is what this book is about. And there's 10 chapters that just spells it out. My first chapter in the book is called "You're Going to Get Fired."
Tell us more.
What is you going to get fired?
Have you ever been fired? I don't care if you work at McDonald's, Walmart, if you had an agent, if you had a manager, an attorney, you got into a commercial, you got a gig, and somebody said it's not going to work out. The words might not be "you're fired," but the words might be, thank you, it's not going to work out.
Right.
You still feel fired.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the first chapter is everybody's been fired. Yeah. And for those young people and older people and people that have been in the industry and can't handle it because it's not for the faint at heart. When you go into it, you need to understand this is a part of the process. And what I explain in 10 Dirty Little Secrets, and it's little, not little, but little secrets, little secrets. What I explain is the process is when you walk in knowing that this is going to happen, you're not exempt.
That's it.
You're not exempt. And a lot of
it.
times you go, that's my friend, they love me. And then when they don't want you anymore, you start feeling like, oh my God, I got this big gut punch in my stomach. You start feeling denial. You start to get depression. Because if you know anything about this industry, and you guys all do, when you lose a job, and it's any job, it doesn't have to be in entertainment, but especially when that's what you've worked for your whole life, it's not like you can go to college and get an education. You're just really lucky, and you sometimes are not even that good. Right. You're good, right place, right time.
Right.
But when people tell you they don't want you anymore, I don't care who you are, it hurts.
Right.
Right.
It does.
And then what this book does, it talks about the process of recovery. Going into it, knowing that you're going to get fired. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing, not even our lives. We wake up, we're born, we're prepared to die one day. So nothing's forever. You have to learn how to assimilate into the next part of your life. So you go through this brutal pain, and then sometimes you turn against the person that fired you. You get angry, and you're mad at them, and you feel like, they're no good, and you start talking bad about them. And it's bad. It's bad for your soul. And then you go through the next step of going, I'm depressed. Nobody likes me. Oh, she's prettier than I am. Oh, he's more talented. Oh, they want somebody else. They want somebody younger. So you go through that whole process.
Right.
And then you go through a process of really doing some self-introspective work. And when you do that, you find out, well, wait a minute. This is what I'm going to share with you guys. And I've been fired before by some of the best. I got fired by Tony Braxton. I'll tell you about that.
Wow.
I got rehired by her, but I did get fired by her. It's okay because we all get fired. What you know is this. My experiences are mine and mine alone.
Right.
You have your portion. I have mine. Nobody can take away what I know.
That's right.
That's it. And once you understand nobody can take away what you know, you then become empowered. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. This didn't work out for you, but it might work out for you.
Right.
So you start, putting your shoes back on, getting back on the bicycle, and trying it again. And once you realize that everything lies within you, everything, nobody can tell you what you know. you start to soar.
This is what I mean by saying you gave us a voice. Because we're not saying that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
A lot of artists can't say that. I don't know why we feel like we have to do this, but we do. And
it's a natural
for
response.
you, right? And for your story, even though I know it was your experience, I went through a lot of that. Everything I read, I was like, me too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I say you gave us a voice.
Yeah, thank you.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate your truth. But when you walk in your purpose, your testimony, you find out your testimony ain't just for you.
That's right, baby.
Oh, no.
And that's why you have to be
Testimony
obedient
was
too
really
in telling
for
it.
me and a lot
That's right.
of other singers and songwriters and just
right.
people in this industry, any industry, from
That's right.
film,
That's
from,
right.
radio.
Yep.
We
That's
all
right.
experience being
Yeah.
fired. We all experience the rejection. You know what I mean?
Rejection.
I'll never forget the one I was working. I was working with an artist from Warner Brothers at this time, and I'll never forget when I heard the word, she's too ethnic. And I stood like,
Gut punch.
I couldn't believe, I was like, what?
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I was devastated.
Right.
And then the manager said, but she sings better. She sings better than who you're trying to get me to pull on stage.
Wow.
But he said, I don't care. She's too ethnic. And the big wigs are here from Warner Brothers. So go get this other artist. That was so devastating for me in my career. And it took me a minute to bounce back. You remember I shaved my head. I went and locked up. Girl, I had dreadlocks. I lost it. When they said, I was like, oh, you want to see me ethnic? I dressed for 17 years.
Yeah.
Did I not? I just lost
That's
it.
a pure example.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
a pure example.
Yeah.
You actually, you can get depressed.
Yes,
and
I
you
did.
You're paralyzed.
Yeah.
This book is about how you move on from that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a small story about something that you just said. I used to be a producer on American Idol, and we would go around to like all over the country, 17,000 people a day auditioning. Just everybody thinks they have talent. Kids, mothers, grandmothers, and it was fun. It was a whole lot of fun. But and there's like 10 judges. I was one of the judges, and we did the preliminary rounds before you got to Paula, Randy, and Simon. So we had these rules. So these are the rules, and I'm telling because because I can't because it's my story. So it was you had to pick super duper talent, like oh my God, they're a star. Or you had to pick completely horrible talent because they're good TV. Good TV. Or you had to pick somebody who had a story.
Right.
So the story, you have a story, you have great talent, or you're just super horrible. Horrible really works on TV because everybody wants to laugh.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
They
right.
wanna laugh at you.
That's right. Good ratings.
So I would go in and we would have this one audition. I forgot where it was, but it had to be 19,000 people in there. And this girl, and you guys might remember this, but so I'll give you the pre-story. Make it real fast. They didn't want any gospel music. And they didn't want gospel music because they were like, it's going to be black girls. And they're going to win because they can sing. And so they didn't want that big voice. So they were like, when you go out, if they sing gospel, so just cut them off and say no. So I would walk the line. I would just walk the line and I would find all the black people in line. I'm like, what are you singing? What are you singing today? Because you only get like 30 to 60 seconds.
Right.
They're like, I'm singing Amazing Grace. I'm like, don't do that. I said, don't do that. Do you have something else? And let me tell you something else. Don't do any runs. They were like, no, but I said, don't do any runs.
Right.
You know, you're all over the place. You know, North Dakota, South Dakota, you're just all over the place.
Yep.
Sing the song, sing it straight, sing it hard, and don't do gospel. Their turn. First thing that comes out their mouth is Amazing Grace.
Oh.
And then I got to cut you.
Oh, wow.
So I'm doing TV. So,
Right.
but I warned them. And it happened time after time after time. So finally, the skinny little girl walks up and she has a bikini on.
Okay.
And she has on heels, like 5-inch heels. And she has this little American bikini on. This flag.
Wow.
And she got up there and she sang in front of the whole audience. Everybody was like, boo. And I said, you're in. You get a golden ticket to go to Hollywood.
Wow.
And I got booed out of the stadium.
That's wild. Wow.
And I said, and here's your golden ticket.
Right.
She was good TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you say that they said you were too ethnic, that's just their opinion. And you went and you did dreadlocks. That's okay. It wasn't for them. But that's what happens. And so when you talk about, being really hurt, everything's not for everybody. You go to the next person. I saw Fantasia and everybody was like, oh, she's ghetto. Oh, remember when she first came on American Idol? Oh, she's just ghetto. And so I was like, I looked at her and I was like, this girl was amazing. She is a star. She is the next Aretha Franklin. If somebody could just get her and just clean her up a little bit.
Yes.
She's beautiful.
Yes, she is.
And so this is before I worked for the company. I saw her on TV. I was pregnant and I was watching it on TV and I was like, and I was getting out of the business because it's another story we'll talk about later. But I saw her and I turned around and I said, if I could go back and manage this girl, I'd get back in the music industry. And yet and behold, I had my daughter, and about 6 months later, I got a call from American Idol from Simon.
Okay.
Not Kyle. He's not the owner. I'll think of his name in a minute. It's Simon who owns the company.
gotcha.
There's Simon Cowell and there's Simon, brain fart. But nonetheless, he said, I would like you to come and manage one of our clients. And I came to the office, I sat down and I interviewed with him and he's like, you have the job. I was there 5 minutes and he was like, you got the job. It's yours. We have somebody, she needs a manager. We think you're perfect. And it's Fantasia. And I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, oh.
But you spoke it.
I did speak it. Yeah, I did speak it. Remember we talked about purpose?
Right.
So I met Fantasia and when I saw her up close in person, she was the most beautiful. She is like immaculate skin, like perfect. Her body is like a stallion. She's built like the beautiful prize-winning horse.
Yes.
But TV puts, 10, 20 pounds on you. You know that. And the talent.
Yes.
It's just amazing. So we had a journey. I ended up managing Fantasia. I took her to the Color Purple. We did a book. Life is Not a Fairy Tale. We did a movie. Debbie Allen directed it. And guess what? It was on Lifetime.
And it did really well.
It was the number one.
Did really well.
The highest watched show for that demographics in the lifetime of Lifetime TV.
Yes.
Awesome.
So it was a great journey with her. So that's just one of those things where people were saying really bad things about her and judging her because she was dark skinned, she had short hair, she came from the South. She, she didn't have a high education, but she was very gifted, very, very gifted. And sometimes when you're gifted, you just need somebody to come and help you along the way.
That's right. Polish you up.
Yeah. So this is what this book, 10 Dirty Little Secrets, is about. Yeah. It's just the secrets. You don't read the small print.
Right.
It's that nobody wants to tell you about.
Right.
That's the part.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my first chapter in the book. Okay. And without giving the book away. And that story I just told you guys is not in the book.
Wow.
That's a personal nugget.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
No, but like I said, I've seen enough and done enough with the industry to know that you were kind with 10. Because there's a whole bunch more. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
But the scandalosity. Yeah. So, let's go back a little. Because somewhere out there's a young lady watching this and she's like, oh, okay, you got my interest now. So let's take it back a little further if we can. Let's go back in time.
Okay.
I
don't know where we're going, but I'm going.
Before you started
riding with you.
this journey, okay?
Yes.
Somewhere in some town, USA, there was this young lady that was growing up and had dreams and aspirations. As far as you want to walk us back through that as a start zone, tell us about that little girl.
Wow. That is deep. Well, what's funny? When I first walked in here, one of your producers was talking, and they said something about KGFJ. I don't know if you remember that. I do. I'm telling my age. I was a baby.
Of course.
They had this thing called the KGFJ Soul Search.
Okay.
And where I grew up in Los Angeles, on Los Angeles Street over there near El Segundo, 124th and Main, there was this band on my street. Okay. And they used to practice in the garage. And it would be in Dugu Chancellor. I don't know if I'm sure you guys know Dugu now. Yeah. It was in Dugu Chancellor and John Carter and Jimmy Taylor and Patrice Rushen and just all the music greats, all the like the Phoenix Horns, those guys. They all went to Locke High School. Yeah. And they would be in the garage across the street from me in this band in the garage playing, just playing. And I sat on my porch. I was about 5 years old. I used to dream that I could go play. So I would just sit there, and one day, one of the gentlemen came out. It's my godbrother now. His name was John Carter. He came out and he gave me a tambourine. And he set me on top of this stool, and I would just play.
Right.
And I would just play. I was like, I want to be in the band. I want to be in the band. Yes. So, wow, I can't believe you asked me that. But they went to KGFJ Soul Surge.
Right.
I watched them, and I was like, I want to do this.
Okay.
So, at that time, I was probably in the 7th or 8th grade, and I got to Gompers Junior High School. It's middle school now, but it used to be high school. They had a band, same directors that were at Locke High School, which was famous at that time. Locke High School had been all around the world. They didn't choose me.
Right.
They just didn't choose me. And I was like, I want to be in a band. I want to be in a band. They were like, nope, nope, nope. So I told my mom. I went home and I was crying one day. And I said, I really want to be in the band. My mom said, well, most of these kids started in the 6th grade. And you're in the 8th grade. I was like, I could do this. I know I could do it because I want to get to Locke and I'm going to be in the band. I'm going to be famous. And so they still told me no. And so one day they called me on the intercom at school and said, Sheryl Cobb, please come to the office. And I went to the office and they were like, you're in the band.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what I didn't know is my mother went down there.
Your mom?
That's what we do.
Went down there and she said, oh, you're putting my daughter in this band.
Okay.
They were, what does she play? She will play whatever you give her, but she's going to be in the band. And so that's really where it started. I went and my dad built me a studio in the closet at home because I was making all kind of racket. I was playing the clarinet. And everybody was like, oh my God, get this girl out of here.
Right.
But he poured into you.
Yep.
He believed in the
He
vision.
did. He's got these egg carts and he pinned them to the wall and he put a piece of foam over it, closed me into a closet. And I worked day and night until I became first chair at Locke High School.
That's
I became first chair and that's where it all began.
Okay.
That is where it all began. I got out of high school and I went to, I joined this organization out of the University of Arizona called Up With People.
Okay.
And Up With People is an international organization. It's an immersions program with students from all over the world. And there were 500 students from China, India, Japan, just places I'd never been. I came from South Central. I went to Locke High School.
Right.
Beautiful.
I show up my first day. I think out of 500, there might have been 3 black people. And I saw one black girl there. And I was like, oh my God, because it was like a culture shock to me.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I run up to her and I was like, hi. And she starts speaking some language. And it wasn't English. It was. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Does anybody? I don't know anybody. But this is the God honest truth. But I was talented. I could sing. I couldn't sing, but I could dance and I could play instruments. And I traveled around the world with people. We went to Mexico and Argentina and People's Republic and China. And this was the first time I traveled. I was 16 years old, turning 17. And I saw the world and I was like, this is a vast world. This is a vast world. It's just not America. It's just not South Central.
Wow.
I'm going to do something, I don't know, but I'm going to be somebody.
Exposure.
Beautiful. And it's really the opportunity. I lived with host families from all over the world. A lot of them didn't even speak English. They didn't eat the same kind of food. And I would learn how to say no in their language. So I traveled a year with Up With People, and I learned it was the best introduction to life that I could have ever experienced. Just traveling and living with families and living with all these different cultures. And we helped communities, and our we build bridges of understanding, and our show was like the vehicle to get into the city. So we had this big old giant show, singing and dancing. But after the show was over, we stayed with the host families, and we got to really immerse with the families. And so I learned a whole lot. And when I finished Up With People, went back to school, and I knew that this was it. This is where I'm going with it. So this is how it all started for me. Thank you for asking that question. Nobody really asked that question.
Thank you for being transparent on that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's good.
Wow.
But to any kid that dreams, follow your dreams.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something else. My father might be listening. He was like, I am not paying for you to go to college to go kick your legs up in the air. Because I thought I was a dancer.
Okay.
He said, you're going to go get some benefits, you're going to work at a bank, and you're going to get a job and have benefits, some 401k.
Right.
I'm not paying for that. And I cried and cried and cried. And he finally paid for it. But so he poured into my vision.
Right.
he did, and that's so important when you have parents
So true.
that support you.
Yes.
And sometimes people see their kids and they know they're super talented and they run away from and they're scared. It doesn't matter if they have that talent in them. It doesn't matter. It's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Right.
One way or another.
That's
so
right.
pour into it.
Yeah.
That's some people may not agree with me, but I believe pour into it.
Yeah,
No, it's true.
because it's evident. It's evident.
Yeah,
very
you'll
young.
see it. You'll
It's
see it.
evident.
You'll see
Yeah,
it.
like when you started singing, you were a little girl, I'm sure.
4.
And people see
Thought all I did was see Diana Ross. It was a wrap.
that was it.
As soon as I saw her, it was over. I mean, I just began performing
Right.
on the end table in the living room.
Beyonce used to charge people 25 cents in her family to come and see her. Yes, to sing. So this starts young.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
does.
She saw
Right.
Janet Jackson.
Yes.
And she said, I'm going to do that. She told Tina, I'm going to do that. And so you have to speak it
That's right.
into existence
Right.
and you have to believe it.
Right.
And the
Yeah.
key thing is exposure, because when I heard you say that program basically changed the trajectory of your life,
Yes.
it's like you
Entire
have to be
trajectory.
exposed to
Yes.
things
Right.
that are not in your neighborhood. And then you have to have someone to pour into you, to also believe in your vision. But you have to believe it
Yes.
first.
Yes,
You're
yes,
the
first.
first
Yeah,
person
to sell it.
true.
You
that
gotta
have
sell
to,
it.
to sell it.
true.
Now because the demographics have changed, the scenario has changed through the years. We don't do the same thing. We don't measure in the same measurements. So for that young lady listening and kind of saying, okay, I'm interested now. The state of the union, so to speak, of the industry now, they used to say it's an it factor. And I know you were in a position to where you could spot the it factor.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a second. Is there still such a thing that's looked at as called the it factor?
Absolutely.
And what does that look like for
Lizzo,
somebody watching?
in today's time, Lizzo. Tommy Hilfiger said in an interview a few weeks ago, he said, get me in contact with Lizzo's people. It's a it factor. She has it. Billy has it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But let me ask you a little something there, since we're talking about Lizzo. I like that she stood up for what she believed in, saying, okay, I may be big, but I'm going to go ahead and just make it popular to be in your own skin.
Is she big though?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's
But she's putting it like she's representing the big girl.
Can I tell you something about
Yes.
that? I have a 16-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And I held this event called the Spiritual Spot this past summer, which we'll talk about, ladies. You got to really find out about that, but we're not here to talk about that. But I just want
We're going to get there.
But my daughter spoke, and I'd never heard her like publicly say what she said. I literally had tears in my eyes because she said, she got up and spoke, and she said, when I was a little girl, I used to be really skinny, and she was just everybody was like, you need a potato, you need a hamburger. And she went back east and she was, started eating.
Yeah.
And she came back about 10 or 15 pounds heavier and she started gaining weight. And I would notice that sometimes she would just be a little ashamed and it hurt her feelings. So she said that people looked at her differently when she gained weight. And she said, but now in the new pop culture, body shaming is forbidden. And she said, so you have to know that the reason why Lizzo can get up there is because girls now and boys, they think it's hot to have confidence. Confidence is the new power.
Yes, it is.
You have to know who
Yes,
you are.
yes,
There it
yes,
is.
yes.
You have to know who you are.
Yes.
So Lizzo could get up and do that.
Yeah.
One, she's talented.
Yeah, oh,
And
right.
two, she does have the it factor.
Yeah.
But three, body shaming is forbidden now
Yeah.
at a young age.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, it's about really having confidence.
Yeah,
Right,
it is.
right.
And I'm going to tell you, to speak to that, I had never heard of Lizzo before the BET Awards this past time.
Yeah, me too. I had never heard
And when
of
she
another
got
Miss
on
Game.
stage and she exuded like confidence,
Yeah.
and she was radiant, she
Yeah.
glowed.
Yes.
And I'm a huge fan of music and all the different artists. Like
Right.
I couldn't wait to see what everybody was going to do. But I left watching a fan of Lizzo.
Right.
Because she killed it.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
she did.
and
The
ever
flute.
since then, like
She
I've
jumped
been
out
watching.
with the
Oh my
flute.
God, it was over, right?
Yeah,
Finished with her. And then she did the little booty dance. Okay, I'm finished with you.
It was over. I
She won it. If it was a pageant, she would have won it.
Right.
She did it.
She brought it.
And not to have known who she was, to come out a fan, that's huge for me because I'm a huge critic also. And I'm just like, what was that? Like, I've left a lot of times watching things and I'm like, what was that? What with high expectations of major people who've been in the game a long time and they come out and do stuff that's not as exciting. Right. But I just thought she just killed it.
She did. I watched that. She was amazing. She killed it.
I was
and that's
extremely
that confidence.
proud of her.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly,
Yeah.
Cheryl. That's what I mean. It really comes back to the table. You got to have that confidence.
And I'm glad you said
that
the body shaming was gone because when she came out, the internet started buzzing about that, and they tried to do it, but she rose above it. And the more that she's riding the buzzer, the more they were like, "Well, who does she think she is? She's not speaking for all of us, and whatever else." But she continued on that course. A lot of people lesser people with lesser talent would have tried to refocus,
Right.
but you stayed the course.
Stayed the course, and look at her now.
Right.
Grammy.
Right.
That's
So
huge.
proud of her.
Right, that is huge. Yeah, I was thinking about that
female.
yesterday,
Yeah,
and I
that's-
said, you know what? To have a #1 record on the Hot 100, 2 of them, in fact, in the same year, because I was looking at, she got named by Time as the entertainer of the year.
That's
and I was
so
like,
amazing.
wait
That's
a minute
huge.
now. There are some artists that have been doing, I don't even know if, what's the girl's name? Alicia Keys.
Oh.
I don't even know if she was ever named. I know she walked away with 5 Grammys at one time, but I don't know if she was ever named Entertainment of the Year.
Yeah,
That's a huge honor. That's a huge honor. And so, I mean, it's like, this is revolutionary. You got to like what you're seeing.
But her with 18 Grammys later, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Alicia's doing the dog.
It's not to take anything away from
No, I got
her,
you.
but it's just to say that in this day and age, confidence sells.
Yes, it
so
does.
be yourself, love who you are. And the other thing that I want to just touch on just real quick, because this is so important, you mentioned that in the selection of people, as you would go through the line, you would tell them, don't sing gospel.
Yep.
And many of them, in fact, all of them, when they got up there, they would do it anyway. You have to be so in tune with being able to take direction and to be coached and mentored.
Right.
Because if somebody's trying to help you, you have an executive that is willing to go against what her boss told her. You know, don't go with these people, you know. And you are getting this instruction, and she's trying to change your life, and you just go against what she said and do your own thing. Shame on you.
Pride
It's
comes
called
before fall.
and in warning before destruction.
Yeah, right.
The warning came.
Yes.
But when I already understand what was going on. Don't tell me I can't sing about my
I
Jesus.
just thought that was
sing
so
about
my
my
God.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I already know.
When she said that, I was just like, how many people do that? Right?
Yeah.
Misguided
So
pride.
let me bring that around to the book.
Okay.
So there's a chapter in the book. It's called Loyalty Goes Both Ways, and that is very key. Let me tell you, as an artist, you do have to know who you are, and sometimes you don't want to compromise who you are. But that doesn't mean that you're so bullheaded that you can't take instructions from somebody who has experience. But it's about trust. And it's about your right team. So when you basically being a manager is someone who advises and counsel. If you don't take my advice or my consultation, my job is done.
He's going to go be one that accept divorces.
Right.
And you have to stay teachable. In this game, you have to stay teachable. And I think just in life, period, you have to stay teachable because things do change. Situations do change. And you should always make sure you keep an ear open. I'm the type of woman, I eat the meat and I spit out the bones. Now, if it's not conducive to how I know I want to live my life and represent, first of all, my God and myself in this industry, then I'm not, there are certain things that I'm just like, nay to. You know what I mean? There's just certain things where I'll go, okay, well, let's sit down and chop it up because you need to know me. You need to understand who I am and I need to know who you are and I need to know if we can walk because we can't walk if we don't agree.
I think that's the key thing for your team.
Yeah.
You start talking, sure, when you say
it's just like a marriage, like you said. I have to want you,
and
you have to want me.
Yeah.
When one of us don't want each other, it doesn't work
That
anymore.
part.
Right?
That's so true.
Right.
That's right.
So back to what you said about the it factor. There is a thing called it factor. You have the it factor, by the way. There's something.
You better say thank you, hallelujah.
I better get in touch.
I just looked that over.
And sometimes it's the smallest things. It's the smallest things that you just see, honestly.
Right.
And I haven't heard you. I just saw you do the lead into the song, and that was awesome. But
Very awesome.
But there's just something it's innate. It's just in you. It just oozes, and you can just see it and feel it. It's like when Michael Jackson used to come into a room and just hold his hands, and everybody like, Beyonce could stand up stage and just stand there and emote, and you're like, oh my God, she's amazing. She hasn't done anything. But it's that kind of energy that just comes out of your body, and you feel it. Now you take that and you add some other ingredients like some talent, hard work and rehearsal. I mean, I think Beyonce is an amazing singer, an amazing talent, not the best singer in the whole world, but you can't tell her that. I mean, she is so confident with it, and she's an amazing singer.
Yes.
But it's about all the others. She's a hard worker.
Right. She's a perfectionist.
She's a perfectionist.
Yes.
This is what makes her even more amazing because she's a perfectionist and she works hard. And some people don't want to work.
Right.
I work with Luther Vandross.
Oh.
My heart.
And let me tell you something. He was my first job.
Look at Dee's looking at you like, girl, who haven't you worked with? That's that look.
You might have some Luther stories, but I'm going to tell you one good one. Well, I have a couple good ones, but this one is interesting.
Okay.
The most talented artist I've ever worked with in respect to understanding his craft. This man would come on stage, and this is God honest truth. He would. I was a hospitality director. It was my first job in entertainment. I used to work at William Morris as an assistant, but as in the entertainment industry, I worked for Luther Vandross, and I was like happy just to be there. I was doing his dressing room, making his food and all that kind of good stuff, doing his media list. Right. And he would have these vents. He would have all the vents covered. Yep. And he would cover them, and I would have to go in the room and put duct tape around all the vents. And then I would have to put at least 4 heaters in the room blowing towards his sofa where he was going to sit. Then I would put a steamer, a humidifier in the room. And then the other one was you put the vapors in. So humidifier one way, the vapors coming up, put some mentholatum in there, and that's coming up. You got the hot water, the honey, and he had this little machine, and he would put his face in there. When he walked into a room, he'd put his face in there and put a towel over his head. And every day for 30 minutes, he would close his door, shut everybody out, and put his head down. And even if that tape broke, I'd get in trouble. I could get fired. Wow. He was dead serious. Hold on. And then when the show happened, we would be in stadiums or arenas where, when it's not a concert, it's ice. They're skiing and hockey, and they cover the floor. So it's cold in those type of venues. He literally had to have these heater blowers. While he walked down to go onto the stage, they would be blowing heat onto him. Because he didn't want to mess up his voice. He didn't, and so this man would go into rehearsal because he rehearses the way he practices. He rehearses the way he performs. He would get on stage and they would sing, and he'd be like, "You're sharp." And the background singers, "Oh, you're a little flat right there." He's like, "Oh, the congas. I need a little more." "Oh, okay, there it is." And then he'll start performing, and he was like, "You're fired in the rafters. That light's wrong, and I've asked you 3 times." It would just be, he could see it, he could feel it, he could visualize it, and guess what? When you worked for him, you knew everybody was on eggshells, because you're going to get fired. Oh no, he was not playing with you. And I was scared. And it was like, oh no, I got to tape. Even taping the fan was important to me. Because that was important to him. That's what the job is, because it's craft. And when it was showtime, I would just sit there and go,
"You're right. It's worth it."
Yeah, it's worth every second. He knew every bead on the dresses of his background singers. He would have seamstress come in every town, and they would sew the beads back on. They would steam and cuff the collars on his shirt. No, he spent the money, and he from his head to toe, he knew what was going on all the time. But that's his craft, and he was a perfectionist, and that's why he was so amazing.
That's what it takes, that perfection.
Really
now
hard.
I'm going to go into some of these little hidden secrets you got up in here. I went into IMDb page.
Sheryl on the hot seat. This is called Sheryl on the hot seat.
He's going down the list. I'm checking it twice.
Yes. I went into your IMDb. Okay? And for those that don't know, it's the media database for the actors and producers and people like that. And you got some projects that you've worked in here. Produced some projects in here.
I did.
Tell us about the Opportunity Knocks and some of the other projects that you just touched and blessed.
So, that's a good question. Opportunity Knocks. So, let me go back a little step. I was managing Shantae Moore for the past 7 years or so. And when we parted ways, still best friends, I was just kind of cool on managing. I didn't want to manage anymore because it's a lot. It's really, it takes a lot. You're traveling, you're away from home. My daughter was going into high school and I needed to really focus and spend more time with her. I decided to go into the next big thing, which is streaming. Which we're doing right now. That is the wave of the future.
Right. Yes.
So I went into this company called OKTV. And it was a brand new network. It was developing, and I got in on ground level. Yeah. And I really wanted to know about streaming. And I will tell you, I felt stupid sometimes because, and I really mean that, because all of our interns were at UCLA, Loyola Marymount, and they would come in and they were just tech savvy. They knew everything. They knew algorithms. They knew all the social media words, and they were like, "Oh yeah, 2 gigabytes and 2 gigables." And you got 500,000 followers. And you escalate over here, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Right.
So it was nice, and I would be like taking notes. And I really just felt like I need to know more about what's going on because this is the wave of the future. So this is really funny, and then I'll get back to what you're saying because it's all relative. Okay. Somebody read my MBD, and one little girl said, "You used to run Rockland Records?" And everybody was like, "Huh?" And she was like, "I read about you. You were in Interscope and you did this and you did that." She's like, "Oh my God, I just want to know. I'm here interning and I want to know everything." And all the kids, all the students, they were in college. They just wanted to eat it up. And they were like, "Oh my God, we're just so happy to have you in our presence." Wow. And so it was a teaching moment and a learning moment for me. Wow. I said, "Okay, here's the deal. You teach me and I'll teach you." So that's how it all started at OKTV. And Opportunity Knocks was a show that I was a part of creating. And it was a show basically where, I'll tell you one of the stories. One of the young ladies, she was a hairdresser. She was an upstanding student, a Christian, and just a really nice girl. She'd been adopted. But she had really put her life together. And one of her clients one day walked in. I'm trying to make this really short. One of her clients walked in her salon one day, and she was doing her hair. She'd been coming to her for 5 years. And she said, "I have to go drive to Texas to go see my boyfriend." Right. And she was like, "If you ride with me, I'll buy you a ticket back. I'll fly you back home." And she says, "This is a 1.5 day drive." So she was like, "Okay." She says, my boyfriend, he'll give you $5,000 just for going with me." So she was like, "I could use that." So she got in the car and she rode to Texas. So halfway there, the girl got tired and said, "Can you drive?" She said, "Sure, I'll drive." So she's just driving along. She put on cruise control. And somewhere in Waco, Texas, the police pulled up behind her. And they were like, and the girl was asleep in the back seat, the other girl, so that her friend. And so she rolled the window down and they was like, "Your taillight's out." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And they were like, "Do you want us to fix it?" She said, "Sure, because I don't want to get pulled over again." So she popped the trunk open and they went and they did something. Whatever they did, they pulled it out and they found like $20 million worth of drugs in the trunk of the car. It was just blown. She got arrested. The other girl got arrested. The girl said she knows nothing about it. They were like, "This is Waco, Texas." They were like, "Oh no, you're an accessory. You're guilty too." Right. So the girl I think the other girl got like 17 years and they were going to give her like 15 years. And the girl was like, no, she didn't know anything about it. They're like, "Yes, she did. You're lying. You're going to get these 15 years. And so she sold her salon. She had a home. She sold her salon, her home, paying for her attorney. And finally, her attorney was like, "Look, they're serious about this in Texas. You're going to jail." She said, "Let's take a deal. You can take 4 years, or you could possibly, hedge your bets and get 17 years like your friend did." So, scared to death, she took the deal. She did 4 years while she was in prison. She went to school. got her degree. She got an associate's degree.
Right.
She got her BA. While she was doing the 4-year period, she came out and couldn't find a job. Meanwhile, her sister got really ill and had a baby. So she took on the baby without a job. And because she's a felon, she couldn't adopt the baby.
Right.
And she couldn't get child support, and she didn't have a job. So this is where the journey began for her. Long story short, she went back to school. She got her master, and she studied really, really hard. And she still couldn't find a job. So, but she was an amazing hairstylist.
Right.
So Opportunity Knocks, we did a story on her. We did a backstory. She told her story. And while she was telling her story, this gentleman came in. And he said, we were like, meet this man right here. And he was somebody in the community. He came and he talked to her. And he was like, so I heard about your story. You can't get a job. And you've been doing hair for so long. And she was really good. She used to do my hair. And he said, well, I have a salon that I'm opening up in Beverly Hills. It's called, I think it's called Image. It's a beautiful salon. And he said, I need a manager. And he said, and I'd like for you to come. And I have a whole bunch of clients, and I'll give you my clients if you come in and run it. And you don't have to pay booth rental. So basically, Opportunity Knocks is you tell your compelling story. We find somebody civically to come in and match. We match people with the opportunity. And then we surprise you with the opportunity.
That is
so
awesome.
That's what Opportunity Knocks.
I like the way you put that down there. You got something going on this weekend.
Awesome.
I do.
You
Black
on some kind of
College
panel?
Expo. I am. Just like talking to you. And once, girl, you're a storyteller. Yes, with the children. There's going to be 50,000 kids at the convention center for the Black College Expo. And kids trying to get, like your son, you know, that's like an entrepreneur, that's smart, that's going to be going to USC. There's money, there's grants, there's scholarships, there's so many opportunities and so much information. So I'm going to be speaking on a panel talking about entertainment and all those little kids that want to go. I'm there to tell them they better get a manager, get an agent, have their parents, and you know what? Parents, stay with your kids until they're old enough to speak for themselves and understand what they're doing. So I'm going to be speaking on their level and about things that they want to know about entertainment.
You got a book. Your book is coming.
My book is coming in March, but it's on pre-sale.
Okay,
you can go to dirtylittlesecrets.com. If you're on Facebook or social media, just go to Today you go to Dirty Little Secrets. Next week it'll be Dirty Little Secrets, but it's dirtylittlesecrets.com. And you click on pre-order, and it's so amazing. I interviewed someplace last week, and the phone's ringing, and books are flying off the shelf, and people are like, I want this book. And they understand that it's not a dirt book. Right. But those dirty little secrets, they will change your life.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
I love
true.
it. Because we have people out there that's been through it, and they're so shell-shocked, they don't want to go through it again or bring it up, and they let it ride. But when they find somebody there to talk about it,
Right.
Yeah.
they can go inside with it and say, okay, I agree.
Yes.
So we need to have people, guys, let me tell you something. It's a good read. She said it's 120-some pages, so don't be overwhelmed. You can afford the price, okay? For wisdom. For wisdom. It's a college education in the book.
That's right.
It's worth it.
So as we narrow down our time, I want you to take a couple minutes and talk to a young lady who's stuck in a rut and needs to find her way through this thing called the muck of whether it's politics, whether it's shaming, whatever it is. Release.
I'm going to start with entertainment because that's what I know best. I know a lot of other things too, but I'm going to start there because that's what the book is about.
Okay.
Entertainment is not for the faint at heart. It's not for everybody. And some people crash and burn. So you have to be really careful. So if you feel like you can't handle it, don't do it.
Right.
Because it will eat you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready. And you don't understand that feeling until you're laying up on somebody's couch. Until you're taking off your clothes and feeling like I shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
Until you are denied and fired. And then you find out that they're not your friends. You thought they were your friends, which is chapter 2 of my book. Is that they're not your friends. When it's business, it's business. Don't get your facts and your feelings mixed up.
Right.
And this is real talk. And I talk very honestly to my clients. I'm not for everybody.
Right.
But if you want the truth, then I'm the person for you. It is not for the faint at heart. You're going to get rejected, and it's going to hurt. But you got to have that fire in you. You got to have that it factor in you. And you can't give up. You got to keep pushing. And guess what? Here's something really important. You can be legendary in your circle. You don't have to be a legend, but you can live a legendary life. So whether you're singing in Japan, Spain, Italy, Europe, there are people loving you.
Yes.
Maybe that's your portion.
Yeah.
Because God's given us all our portion.
That's right.
Yes.
But that's your portion. And so you can't look at somebody else and go, well, you did that. No, that's not for you.
That's
Right.
it.
Because you
That's
touch
it.
other people's lives.
That's
So I don't play clarinet anymore or the flute. But here I am.
Right,
I'm
right.
talking on your show.
That's it.
Here
Right.
I am.
That is so
on
great.
Morris Media Live talking about 10 Dirty Little Secrets.
Right.
No clarinet.
Right.
No flute.
Right.
No
No
dancing.
tambourine.
No tambourine.
Right.
You know.
Right.
No tambourine. I'm really
is
talking
awesome.
and I'm changing lives.
Yes.
So that's
I
my
love it.
calling.
I appreciate it.
So and I
Wow.
appreciate you having
And what I
me
need
here.
to do is go over to Miss Jeremy. Miss Jeremy, take a minute to give us your soak up.
Just be open. Be open. That's the biggest thing that this whole experience tonight has taught me. Just be open.
Yeah.
'Cause you may block your blessing.
Oh, don't want to do that. Miss Makita,
Yes, my dear.
run with it.
I just believe that your measurement of success should be that you activate the potential, that you walk in your purpose.
Yes.
As long as you are walking in your purpose and you activate your potential, you are so successful. And of course, we can go higher and higher and higher, but it's according to your measure. And just be confident in that, no matter where that is. You know, I just believe that amount of money can never, ever measure how huge your gift, your potential, whatever is on the inside of you. Once you activate it, go for it and never let anybody tell you what you cannot do. Ever.
Right.
That's strong.
Yep. Only you can make yourself or you break yourself. Smokey used to say only you can prevent forest fires.
Only D would say that.
Only you can prevent the blessing in your life. So we talked about a lot today. We talked about the 10 dirty little secrets that you really want to get up on. We heard from some of our experts that are here trying to reach and teach you. If we reach one, teach one, each one, then we can go from the 12 that first were evangelized when they first started walking in the Master's footsteps. And now the evangelism is all over the world.
Yes.
See, with a small flame, a mighty fire is kindled. So we've got to take each step as if it was our last.
That's
Right.
We're once again putting our love out to Kobe and his family, and we're just fellowshipping with others that we learn something from this.
Yes.
Fathers, pay attention to your daughters. Pay attention to your kids, but especially your female folks. Because the last word of love, the last touch of love, the last look of love may be what they get from you. And that may be the marker that helps them to be all that they can be and find the right person for their life in the future. It depends on you guys. Take it seriously. I'd like to thank Ms. Pam Broussard
Yes.
from Be in Motion.
Yeah, we love
You know what I'm saying?
that.
She's doing the thing, and we're going to be bringing other artists and other performers that she's working with.
Yes.
And once again, this weekend, don't sleep on it. If you got a college-age kid, if you got anybody you know that needs a college education,
Yes.
they're giving scholarships on the spot. I'm telling you, colleges from
them.
all over the country,
Yep.
whether it be the black colleges to every other college, they're there. Pam, thanks for opening the door.
Yes.
Miss Dr. Price,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Love you, what you're doing.
Yes.
You are standing for something. And if you don't stand for
Yes.
something, you'll fall for anything.
That's
Guys,
right.
get on board and make our education work for
That's
us.
it.
Now, as we go out of here, I'd like to say what we do each and every week. Put God first and everything else will follow.
Yes, it will.
And from Pam Broussard, from Miss M, from Miss Germany, from Miss Makita, and Miss Sheryl Cobb, we'll see you next time. Be positive. We out.
Heaven must have known that this day would surely come. one alone. Has some angels watching me to make sure